Hi, I'm Sebi. I'm a developer advocate at Aiven. And today I'm going to show you something really cool. I'm going to show you how to build a movie recommendation system using really cool technologies like ClickHouse, including vector search, using the HuggingFace API, and from the front end, Next.js. Are you ready? Let's go. So this video is based on this article that will be linked in the description. This article contains all the details, all the steps. So I'm doing here a short version of it. But after seeing this video, if you say, hey, I want to build this stuff, it's so cool, just go to this article and follow along. So basically, what are we going to do? We are going to store in ClickHouse a large data set of movie synopses. Okay, so in this, if you follow along here in this article, you can find this data set, but to store this data set, we're not going to store the text of it, but we are going to store embeddings of each of those synapses. What is an embedding? An embedding is a really powerful system that transforms a text into a numerical representation stored in a vector with a lot of dimensions, okay? And the power of those vectors is they are stored in a database, and then you can search for different vectors that are close to each other. You can do similarity searches, and you can do that with ClickHouse. So to create those embeddings, which is a bit out of the scope of this article, there's a script provided in this article, but Olena, who wrote this awesome article, makes things easier for us. And she said, okay, if you don't want to do that, I prepared for you a JSON file containing the complete dataset with the embeddings. So that's what I did. I downloaded this dataset. I downloaded her GitHub repo that contains the front-end application. And that's it. What is the next thing that I need? I need a ClickHouse service, okay? And what I would suggest to do is go on the Aiven console, and from there you can really easily create your ClickHouse service. It's just 2 clicks. If you don't have an Aiven account, don't worry. In the description, you will find a special link that creates an Aiven account for you and which gives you some extra credits. So you can play with ClickHouse, but also with all the other products that we have like Kafka, Apache Flink, Redis, MySQL, including free plans for MySQL, Postgres, and Redis. That will be free forever. Okay, anyway, what I need to do now is to connect to my ClickHouse service. For that, I just go here on the tab ClickHouse Native. I click on Quick Connect, and I get here a command using Docker. So I'm running a container, which is the ClickHouse client, and which will connect me to my ClickHouse server. So I just grab that. I got it ready here. Let me just scroll down. There we go. And if I hit enter, I should be connected now. I'm connected to my ClickHouse service. Awesome. What do I need to do? Well, those embeddings, I need to store them in a table. And this table doesn't exist yet. So I just have to create a table. You see here, create table. It's pretty straightforward. It's got a title, the director, the cast, the genre, and the plot. Okay, which year, and some other stuff that are present in the embedding. So let me grab this. Okay, let me go back here to my console, and here I create the table. Poof, poof, poof. Look at this. My table has been created. We can confirm that if I go back here to my console, for instance, to my Aiven console, and I go to databases, I can see that I get a new table called movie plots. Cool. What do I need to do now? Now I need to import the embeddings into this table. So remember, I downloaded the JSON file. It's local on my machine. And if I follow just along here, I got a command, cat, and then I pipe that into my client. These are my embeddings, okay? And that should do the trick. So let me try that. And I already prepared it here. If you take a look here, and that should import this JSON file. And the query is insert into movie plots, the table that we just created, JSON each row. So it will take each row and put that into my table. Let's see. I don't know how fast it will go. To be honest, I haven't tried before, so your experience live stuff here. Let me see what happens. Hopefully it's pretty fast. It's okay. The import is done now. To make sure I can go here to my console, I can see that I have almost 35,000 movies that has been imported. Okay, and you can see the size because it's an embedding, quite big vectors. It takes some space. Okay, but it's there, and now I'm ready to make requests against them. The next step, and I will just skip step 4. Step 4, Olena explains that when we, the user, will type a phrase like, I want to see a sad movie, this text has to be converted into a vector so that we can do a query with this vector against all of our vectors. So here she explains how it works. For that, you need an HuggingFace token. Okay, that's really easy. You go to the HuggingFace, you create an account, it's free, and you can generate a token. And because HuggingFace has an API to take a text and transform that into a vector. That is exactly what we need. And she explains how to do that. She even shows us how to do that from the command line. That can be really funny if you want to experiment a little bit, okay? Here, get me the embedding for a lot of cute puppies, okay? And then the result, you can see it here, is a huge, huge vector. I will skip that part because right after in this article, she explains how to introduce that into the backend application, because she has created, of course, also a backend application. At the top of the article, she points to a GitHub repo. So just go to this GitHub repo. Let me see where it is. There it is. Okay, GitHub repo. Let me open that in a new tab. Okay, there we are. And in this repo, you get everything you need. Okay, you just fork it, you clone it, then you go to the .env example. Here you set your different tokens, okay? Your HuggingFace, your ClickHouse host, your ClickHouse username and password, and that's it. Then it should be good. Before we run the application, I just want to show you some interesting parts of the code. Let me go here to the repo. If we go to pages, API, recommendation. So that is the interesting part here, the get embedding. That will take the input that you write on your front end and transform it into an embedding. Okay. And then the other interesting part is here, this line here. This is the query that we will do against our ClickHouse service. Okay, so here we do a simple select, but the trick here is to do an L2 distance. This is a specific vector search term that you can put in vector databases. And here we pass the search phrase embedding that the user wrote, okay? And that will give us a result. She probably put a limit of 10. That will give us the 10 closest vectors of the embedding that we passed, okay? And that's how a recommendation system works. So basically, I should be good to go. Let me see. And again, I swear it. I'm doing this live. I haven't practiced that part before. Let me do an npm run dev that will run locally the application that contains also a front end. There we go. Compile client server successfully. Woo, let's try it out. So it's on port 3000, I believe. There we go. And look, good news is it's running. And here I see type, what do you want to watch about? So I want a sad movie. I want a sad movie. Let's try it out. Let's see if this works. And it's searching. And let me see if I get some results, because it's querying the database. Let me check there's no errors. Oh, there's an there's an error in the, I told you I haven't. So we had an error just before, and it was, of course, like always, because of me, because of a stupid typo. But anyway, I fixed it, and now it's working. So my project is running, and if I go to my browser here, and I say, I want a sad movie, okay, and I do search, bam, look how fast it is, okay? And it's doing vector searches, which is really complicated, but ClickHouse is really impressive for that. I got some movies here. Yellow Sands, a real comedy about a rich dying woman's relatives that are about to disappoint by the content of her will. Yeah, that sounds really sad. A movie with cats, because you know I love cats. Let's try that out. There we go. Or of course the Aristocats. Feed the kitty. Oh, that sounds nice. Saturday evening bus. Okay. Kitty cornered. There are a lot of movies about cats. Okay. And to make no one jealous, let's look for dogs. There we go. But again, dog in space. Yeah, I never saw it. But again, imagine what is happening. It takes my input, it transforms it into an embedding, and then it does the query against the ClickHouse database, and it's blazing fast, and it returns me results. Okay, so that was it. Again, please go to the article if you want all the details. It's pretty easy to set up, and without no time you will have a recommendation system for movies. But you can take any other data set and create your own recommendation system. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see other cool videos. Again, don't forget, in the description there's a link to create an Aiven account. There's the link to this article, and I wish you a nice day. Bye bye.